The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors. Lighting for ECAT production provided by the Avery Lee Williams Family Foundation.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. Good afternoon, everyone, and happy spring. We made it. I can't believe we survived another winter, and Topic Time has remained as hot as ever through the winter solstice, and now we're into the warmer weather, and we have an awesome show tonight. It looks like I told him he looked like the Imperial Margarine King from the old commercial. It's Greg Cherone and his
Duncan,
partner.
King of Scotland.
And we're going to talk to them, and we're going to hear one of their music videos about halfway through the show. But of course, before we do, we've got to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So we have Lynch's Towing Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton. One number for towing, one number for projects. My pal Lynchy is always in search of new scrap metal, wheels, anything to do with transportation. He handles it all. We have Pal's Driving School. That's in Brockton, Lynch's Towing. We have Pal's Driving School in Middleborough, setting up classes for June, July, and August. Better check that website. We have the Riverside Cafe in Wareham, open 6 days a week, all but Wednesdays, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. They make the best breakfast from Boston to the Cape, and they have DoorDash delivery. We have Brian's Barbershop in Kingston. We have One Good Credit in Brockton. We have Vineyard Farm in West Bridgewater. We have the Bazaar Hair Salon in Easton, featuring curve metrics and dry cutting. We have Mulberry Frozen Yogurt in Raynham. We have Doggy Boutique, all-breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next-door neighbor, Debbie Siddell in Brockton. We have Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We have RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering floors for 50 years. We have Kingston Auto Body in Kingston. We have Countertops Express in North Attleboro, experts in the installation and removal of quartz and granite. We have Haven Psychiatric Services in room 211, right here in the building in North Easton. We have Tom Auto in Middleborough. We have Evan Young Realty. That's my brother, the realtor. We have Eli's Auto Care in Taunton, and we have Joe's Diner in Taunton. I want to thank you guys very much. And now it's Greg Cherone and Robert. What's your last name, Robert?
Robert Clapp.
Platt. Is it Platt like plant, not like plant, like Led Zeppelin, right?
Oh, like Clapp, like clap your
Clapp.
hands.
Oh, Robert Clapp. Okay, with 2 P's at the end, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So you guys are musicians. Obviously, you're standing in the sound studio. You got a huge keyboard behind you. It's a lovely lit room you got.
Thank you.
Home studio.
Yeah. Where are you guys at? You guys north of Boston, west of Boston?
We're north of Boston, like in the Woburn, Reading area.
Love that area. I love Woburn. Great city. I did some work up there, and I used to collect donations from the Chamois police donation collection agencies, and then I wrote a book in the 90s and sold a few copies out there as well. But obviously, this is where it's at, where I'm doing now. All right. Well, Greg, I guess you're the one I set the interview up with. We've been talking for years about getting you on the show.
Correct.
So why don't we start? I profile both you guys. That's what I do when I interview anybody. So Greg, let's start with you. Tell me about where you grew up, how you got into music, and then we're going to talk about. And Robert, if you want to interrupt, feel free. I mean, not interrupt, interject. And then then I'll profile you as well, and then it will be thorough. So start with you, Greg. Start with what I just said, and I'll see. Ask questions as I see. Which one's Greg, by the way? You Greg with the crown? Oh, okay, the short. Okay, gotcha.
Greg's the one with the crown.
Greg's the one with the crown. Okay, see, I'm like with the Smothers Brothers here. I wasn't sure which was Thomas or Richard. Okay.
Trying to get.
Okay, you're the one who told. All right, you told me you were wearing a crown. Gotcha. Okay, that's sweet. All right. Well, then, Greg, I'm looking at you. Then you tell me about how you got into music. What you did as a kid growing up, and we'll take it from there. And then you can interrupt him if you want, or interject.
Okay.
With him.
Sure. I've been singing for many years. I was in a band many years ago. A couple of acoustic duos. Over the past 4 years or so, I've been working with Robert. We've been writing songs together.
Okay.
And we just decided, let's do a rock opera adaptation of Shakespeare's Macbeth.
Okay.
And here we are.
Now you texted me Macbeth. Now that's you based that on the Shakespeare play?
Correct.
Okay. All right, now is that as long as the Who's rock opera that they did?
Um,
Not sure, but it is about the length of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh, okay, well, that was a pretty good lengthy show. I remember it came out in 1971. I was 12.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was actually very much modeled after Jesus Christ Superstar, so we're kind of excited about that.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. I got to tell you, of all the, I've heard a lot about Jesus, and to this day, there's been no more entertainingly festive account of Jesus than Jesus Christ Superstar that I've ever heard. Although the Doobie Brothers did a pretty nice song about him a couple of years later. Jesus is just all right with me. Okay, but this is the length you're talking about. Okay. All right. Well, what made you decide to do a rock opera?
Um,
Shakespeare and Idol? I'm just wondering.
That's the play has always stayed with me, and I always thought we could maybe do something with this, and so just decided to buckle down and try to do it. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
original, right? It's not something most people.
Fits into the genre of what we've been doing, and I know it's been an interest of yours for years
Many years.
to get this finished and get it done.
Oh, how many years about?
Well, it was actually, I want to mention there's another co-writer involved who couldn't be with us this evening. His name's John Betancourt. And many years ago, we had started the project, and it was put on the shelf for a while. And recently, I got Robert involved to kind of resurrect the whole thing.
Okay.
So there's actually 3 creators. There's John, myself, and Robert.
Oh, okay. Now we're gonna watch a music video about halfway through the show. Is that from the Macbeth show you did?
Yeah, it's a lyric video of one of the main songs in the show. Yeah.
Okay. Now, given that it's a rock opera, is it just the two of you, or do you have other people performing as well? I mean, that sounds more like a play.
Yeah, it's fully orchestrated.
Okay.
I did that over the course of a year or so, and we have multiple people come. We've flown in. I say fly in. I don't mean literally. Virtually flown in multiple people to fill out the different parts, and it's all singing. There's no speaking at all.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
How many people in the cast?
I'd just like to mention,
Go ahead.
Harrison, that this we just released an industry-only CD, so it's got all the songs on it, and we're very, very pleased about releasing this concept album.
You can also find Act 1 on SoundCloud.
Okay. Act 1. All right. Well, how many acts are there in all?
Well, there's actually 2, but we're kind of just holding back a little. We're trying to create a buzz about the project, and yeah.
But we have the CDs, full CD, and on SoundCloud.
So we're very excited about this. We've got a lyric video out there, trying to get noticed, and you're going to play it on your show tonight, which would be great.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to that.
Me too. Okay, but how many cast members were there? You have any women in there? Macbeth. I mean, it seems to me Shakespeare always had pretty women in his bard stuff.
Not only do we have a couple women, but one woman plays 3 different women. So that's kind of interesting.
It is. Okay.
In his show, he has 3 witches, traditionally called witches,
Okay.
and we have one woman who's done all 3 parts, and we've used some audio techniques to kind of bend and shape and make it sound a little different than each voice.
Okay.
And so
we have 3 wayward sisters.
3 wayward sisters.
Harmonizing.
What we're calling them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you actually flew these people in from different parts of the country to be in this?
Well, virtually. So
virtually. Okay. Everything. I got you. So everything is by Zoom.
Yeah, so they would we would send out the tracks.
Okay.
There was someone in the Philippines that sings one of the parts. Someone from South Africa. Abby is from South Africa. We have
Our Lady Macbeth is from
Vegas. Yeah, so we have Vegas. Someone who does a lot of work in Vegas is singing Lady Macbeth.
Okay. See, I have to admit, I'm not much of a Shakespeare buff. I mean, I know some of the sayings. I know sayings like what do they call it? "'Tis a far, far better thing I do than I ever done before." I don't know if that's see, that's just it. I may not even be right, but I know that he's a profound playwright, and the fact that you guys decided to have enough of him to do to keep him going is pretty sweet. Just like Herman's Hermits with Henry VIII. Oh, Henry
something wicked.
Yates kind of a
Like,
bastard from what I hear. A little different. Okay. All right. Well, all right. Now, Greg, tell me about growing up. You guys grew up in the same town. Did you know each other did you not know each other until recently, or did you grow up together too?
we've known each other. We're actually third cousins.
Oh, are you?
So
Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay. So,
there's a connection there. And Robert's been doing music for years, and we finally just thought it might be fun to work together. So here
okay.
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys grew up. All right. All right. So how old were you guys when you started doing music, like each as individuals?
Oh yeah, I started doing music probably when I was 17 or 18 years old.
Okay.
And I actually, before kind of pop music, I was heavily into musicals, and I was in a lot of musicals and in high school and in summer camps and in college.
Okay. Where'd you go to college?
Went to Emerson College.
I know. Oh, you went to Emerson. Sweet.
Yeah.
I could have gone there too, and I transferred to Curry instead. But that's okay. I'm doing okay now.
Yeah, I looked at Curry as well. Curry's a good college.
Yeah, I don't. Be honest with you, I have my reservations about that, but that's a show for another day. Well, I'll be honest with you, Curry. In the spring of 1989 or the winter of '89 when I transferred in the fall of '88, and I was in the communications program. And the thing is, the students had the opportunity to do an internship at the Channel 56 10 o'clock news, which doesn't exist anymore. But I was a transfer student, so they wouldn't let me do it. You had to have been a 4-year student. When I was at least as qualified with experience and knowledge as any of the other students there. And I felt that was, given the fact that my father probably shot him $4,000 for my tuition. That's pretty lame. But that just was my experience. If other people have done very well at Curry, and I've done well in spite of that. So that's all that matters, I suppose.
Absolutely. So I did a lot of musicals back then. I graduated from college, and I got married pretty quick and had kids, and so let go of things for a while.
Okay.
But all along I kept up with guitar playing and writing and recording and singing, and so that's always been a passion that I've kept alive through the years. And it's only been the last, I'd say, few years that it's really come back strong. Not only working with Greg, but working with other artists and doing my own thing. And so yeah, it's.
All right. Well, guess what? We're about halfway through the show. We're going to listen to that. We're going to watch that and listen to that video. So check it out. We'll be right back, and we'll talk about it. So enjoy it, and we'll be back to discuss it in a few minutes.
The plot is in motion, thanks to a most efficient wife. Shall I seize the moment? Shall I myself bear the knife? If the deed be done, it would have to be swift. Back and forth, these pros and cons, my better judgment shifts. This kind of passion is a dangerous thing. I am his kinsman first, cousin of a good and worthy rightful king. Were those wayward sisters just imaginings? Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day. What are these gracious honors recently rewarded? A lamb gets lost, the wolf leaps forward, a traitor to myself. Never mind the nation, what could I expect except condemnation? What are the next in line, whose very sight I cannot stand? This heir, this boy, this prince of Cumberland. This kind of passion is a dangerous thing. I am his kinsman first, his cousin, slay a gentle sleeping king. Were those wayward sisters, just imaginings. Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day. What are the other present? Father to a line of kings. With an oracle like that, what will I have to show? I am his kinsman first, cousin of a good and worthy rightful king.
Oh, guys, that was great. What did we just watch? Tell us, I mean, just enlighten us a little bit more with the synopsis of that video.
Go ahead.
You want to do it?
Sure. So the song "A Dangerous Thing" is one of the main songs in the show, and it is really a critical point for the main character Macbeth, where he's struggling and he's trying to make the decision: do I kill the king or do I not kill the king? Because it's earlier, not spoilers, right? But earlier in the show, it's been prophesized that he will be king one day.
Oh,
And
okay.
there was another prophecy as well, and the first one comes true, and he says, "Wow, the first prophecy came true. It could mean that the second one's going to come true also." So he tells his wife about it, and she gets all excited, and so this plot ensues, and it's his cousin. The king is Macbeth's cousin, so he's very torn.
Kind of like you guys.
Huh?
Kind of like. Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
He's trying to take the crown
Trying to
from
take
me.
the crown.
Oh, well, I was gonna. Now that
so-
here's it. Okay, go ahead. Keep talking, and I'm gonna.
No, I was going to say, so this song, it's got a little bit different of a vibe than Gethsemane.
Okay.
But I've always kind of seen this as it's him in the garden, trying to wrestle with what he's going through and this decision to be made. It's
Okay.
probably one of the last times we see him not engulfed with the power that occurs after.
Oh, okay. Well, it's interesting. As I'm sitting here watching you guys, I'm thinking maybe you're planning on killing him right on my show. I hope you don't. But, but I mean,
There's a movie. I think there was a movie that came out recently about a talk show, and it went poorly. It's something about Saturday night. But anyway, that's another story.
Exactly. All right. Well, all right. Now, Robert, tell me about your history. You grew up. Where did you grow up? How did you start music?
Yeah. So I grew up.
Well, all right. All right. I'm still not sure who's who. All right. Greg. I mean, Greg.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Greg. You tell me. You tell me your history then.
I started late. I went to Emerson College as well,
Okay.
and I have a degree in communications, and I joined a band
Oh.
because that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to sing and express myself, and so that's how it all started. A little late, probably early 20s, and just went out there and gave it the old college try. I was out there singing in the clubs, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, okay. Now, what did you guys? What did you guys major in at Emerson?
He was communications. I was mostly communications. I spent a lot of time in the musical theater program.
Okay. Now, that having been said, I'm guessing you guys have probably done some acting as well, right? At Emerson and in other places.
Yeah.
Correct. I think let me just quote Sinatra for a second.
Okay.
Here, and he once said, "You've got to be a bit of an actor to put over a song."
Okay. True. That's true. Okay. So it makes sense.
The,
All right.
the man has spoken, and I think that's very true. Because when you listen, if you don't believe it, you're not going to be moved by it.
Right. Okay. I get it. But you.
Yeah.
All right. So now you guys doing aside from that video that we watched, do you do any acting currently, or is it all just music now?
For me,
Or
it's still just music now.
Okay.
I mean, I have a real, sincere interest in writing more musicals. I've written 2 so far now. So.
Oh, you have? Okay. So all you're writing is, so that's your genre pretty much, musicals.
Over the last couple of years, I've kind of rediscovered that love, and I still do. I'll still write pop songs, and we'll still write songs together. But
Okay.
yeah.
Right now, we're just recruiting singing actors.
Okay.
That's what we've been doing for the last year, and it's been a lot of fun. We're excited for people to hear the results of our endeavor.
Yeah, the fruits of the labor.
Right, I get it. I mean, after all this time. All right. So what are you currently working on? You got anything new in the work? No, you're all set. Are you all done with the Macbeth, or are you still working on that in chapter 2 there?
Well, actually, the next goal is to stage it. So we're trying to. We actually added recently. Robert added a few more little things for the stage version, and we incorporated into the opera, because what you're hearing on the CD is a concept album, but once it's on the stage, it's going to be a little different, and we have to. It's not just a listening experience. Now it's visual, and Robert recently added some things that really clarify things. So right now we're trying to get it on the stage, which is no small feat, because we're not very connected in the theater world in the greater Boston area, but we're working on it. We're trying to get our opera staged, and that's the goal. We're very excited about that. We're working on it.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, it's you're always probably going to be fine tuning it, but it's as done as it's going to be done for now. So.
Well,
Well,
listen, since you guys are Emerson grads, and Emerson is pretty much a theatrical college, why can't you go through them? I bet they could probably offer you the opportunities to go on stage. And I mean, I've actually done an Emerson film too. I played in 2014. I played a psycho old man carving up a teddy bear just so these two guys could get a grade. I drove out to Hyde Park.
That's kind of a stretch, Harrison. Come on.
Well, I don't hurt animals. So if it was a real if it was a live bear, I wouldn't have done it. But a stuffed bear.
You're an actor. You're an actor.
You're right, Harrison. The Emerson angle is certainly something that I haven't dove in there yet, but
it's very
we're
political.
kind of like I feel like we're ready now to start doing things like that.
It's very political. Let me say that, because they've got their.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I can imagine.
We've been out away from.
Probably like my thing with Curry in Channel 56. I couldn't do that. That's all political. I don't know. It pretty much is.
But relationships can prevail sometimes. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, we're not. And no.
Are you guys familiar with the Cabot Theater? I think it's in Beverly. It's one of the old. Yeah. Have you ever done anything there?
I've seen some things there.
Right, but I mean, have you ever performed anything there?
I haven't. I performed at the Majestic when I was at Emerson.
Okay.
Many years ago.
Actually, is that the theater in the school?
Yeah, now it's a little different now, but yeah, that was the theater. It's a full-blown, like the Colonial Theater, like the Opera House. It's a full-blown theater.
Oh, okay. I remember the Opera House. I saw a concert there on May 8th, 1974. I don't know if you guys were even born yet. Stephen Miller Band, and they're still active. 51 years ago. Wow.
Actually, Harrison, we recently had interest from a playhouse down the Cape that's interested in. They heard the concept album, and they expressed some interest in staging it with us. But it's a bit of a hike.
Yeah.
And we're just not.
Well, summer's coming. What about you ever been in where the South Shore Music Circus is in Cohasset?
Oh yeah.
Now, that might be a start. That might be a place where you want to start. It's a small theater. You got it, but you still have it's small, kind of informal, but you can still fit a few hundred people in there comfortably. My cousin used to work there years ago in 1966. She was one of the Disney I mean, she was in the play Rumpelstiltskin. She played one of the. I don't know who she played, but she was in that play back then. And I remember we used to go every week. My cousin, it was pretty fun. So, I just thought.
Those are options. What I think the hope is that at some point we can find an investor that can help us get it to that kind of a next step.
Okay.
Or we could find some place and do it on our own. But it's all at this point. I feel like we're ready to really make that leap, and we're ready to go find someone, a place to perform it where
locally
where that's been fairly recent. So
where we can be involved, and it's not.
So you want to work your way. You want to do something local, but then maybe work your way down to New York, to Broadway, possibly at some point.
I mean, that would be or Vegas. It could be
Vegas. Right, I get it. Okay. Well, why don't you? Doing a rock opera. I mean, that's going to get people's attention if you get it on YouTube and you circulate it enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I network the show as well as I do. Do as many shows as you can and get and keep the algorithm growing for you. That's the best way to do it.
Content.
And maybe
Content is-
maybe go to Faneuil Hall during the summer when the weather warms up real good and do something out there. Do perform. Have people throw coins at you for a while, and then
Yeah.
you can really get your foot in the door.
Whatever it takes.
Well, guess what, guys? We're in the final 5 minutes of the show. I hope you had fun talking to me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right, so here's what I want you to do in the remaining time. Give a few shouts out to people that are going to see the show, and then we'll wrap the show up in my snap in the way we began it. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to people.
Yeah, sure. I want to give a shout out to my wife who puts up with me,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
my 2 adult children who also put up with me. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for being there.
Sure. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. I'm looking at you guys. I got to figure you're younger than me, and you already have adult children. I should feel old, but I feel pretty good.
Yeah. I would do the same shout out my wife and my 2 kids who
Yeah.
are also almost adults. So
Wow.
yeah, it's
If they weren't supportive, we couldn't do the things that we want to do.
that's
So-
for
Of
sure.
course. Yeah. Your family has to be behind you 100%, or don't get rid of them and just do what you got to do. I'm only kidding. You wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Well, what about now? I want to find out this. Is there anything coming up on the horizon that you want to mention that you might have overlooked? I want to make sure we cover everything before we wrap the show up.
I think we talked about the SoundCloud link. If people were interested to hear Act 1, they certainly could go to SoundCloud and hear Act 1. There's a CD.
Yep.
That at some point will be available for purchase. If
We're
people-
making T-shirts.
Yeah, if people were
We got
interested,
merch.
if people were interested in the CD, they could reach out to Greg. We could definitely
Hook them up.
hook them up. No, but not, really, this has been all consuming, at least from the music perspective, and nothing coming up other than this in the near future.
Okay. I'm just wondering how much time a week do you guys spend writing?
We're actually that's been on the back burner because we're trying to get it. We're in this promotion mode.
Okay.
We're trying to get the word out, and it's been a while. But when Robert and I get together, a song comes together within 20 minutes. So we're not worried about that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sure. What about performances? Where have you performed, like live? Anywhere? Just checking that out. Just want to make sure we cover all that stuff too.
Yeah, for me, it's been mostly open mics as of late.
Okay.
So, and Hugh O'Neill's, it's been a while, but Hugh O'Neill's in Malden is a really great place for open mics
Okay.
on Wednesday nights, run by another one of our cousins, Jeff Monroe. So I would give a shout out to Hugh O'Neill's because it's such a great venue for people that are just trying to learn how to perform and kind of get better in front of a live audience. It's a great place. It's safe. It's not too intimidating.
Okay. Now you say open mics. You talking about for music or for something else or both?
Oh, open mics for music.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
for
know
music.
you do comedy, poetry open mics, which I have not done, but
Have you ever done any comedy, either of you, stand up or anything like that? Or would you ever consider it?
I would consider it. It's something I've always I've had it in the back of my mind. I have on my phone. I have a list of running joke ideas and things like that. That would, those guys are no joke. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of focus and planning to be able to get up and do a comedy show.
Well, you know what? I always try to give ideas. Boy, my ears are itchy today. I wonder why. I always try to give ideas to people that could behoove them down the line. And what about the idea of possibly doing like a singing stand-up routine? Singing material instead of saying it. Say it, don't spray it. Spray it, don't say it. I don't know. You know what I mean?
A couple of our songs are actually pretty comical. So
Yeah.
so we try to incorporate some.
That's what I'm
humor
saying. You got to make it comical. That's where the writing comes in. But then once you've done that, then you can get up on stage and sing it to the crowd. And I'm sure if they throw anything at you, it'll be gold. It'll be gold coins. It won't be tomatoes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. If you know anybody you think might be a good guest for my show, if you enjoyed it, you got my digits. Have them contact me. We'll get them on either by Zoom or in person. All right. All right. Well, and you guys did a wonderful job. I really appreciate it. I know, Greg, I've been trying to get you. We've been talking for years. It's been a little
Harrison,
tough.
thank you for having us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad you guys gel well together. Yeah, I do a little poetry every now and then. Gel well, Yeah.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd throw that in for effect. All right. So like I said, anybody you can think of, any of the women in you, especially I love having beautiful women on as guests. If you can, or guys too, if they're cool, just like you guys, just have them contact me and we'll get you on. All right, you guys ready to wrap? And I got one last favor to ask. When we wrap the show up, will you stick around and let us, my tech guy will take a pic for Facebook. You okay with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, folks, another great episode of Topic Time, wrapping to a close and wrapping up and snapping up. More great on the way. Great ones.
Lighting for ECAT production provided by the Avery Lee Williams Family Foundation.